Alright, so to explain the website here, we'll start off with the toolkit. So in the toolkit, it's basically all just right here on the front page, but also there's a drop down as you can see right here. We have the metronome. There's a precision tuner. There's a circle of fifths homepage where you can then select different scales. So for instance, if I go to C Ionian, it's going to select C major. If I go to C Mixolydian, you'll then see that mode, C Dorian, and so on. So that gives you every single mode, and then you can change the key. So if I'm in G Dorian, I then have my chords there for it. It gives you the key signature and tells you what's in the key signature. Down here, it'll even give you the scale for all three of these instruments, so piano, guitar, and ukulele. And that's all for G Dorian, for instance. But if I change it, we can go D flat Dorian. We can see all of the notes in basically every single scale that there is. After that, we have the diatonic chords and the negative harmony sort of box right here. Negative harmony is kind of just a little side blurb, but the diatonic chords, these ones are super useful, because for instance, if I go to C major, this will give me all of the chords in that chord scale, and then I can also just change it to ukulele or guitar, and it gives me the pitches in each of these boxes. So it kind of is a all-in-one type of little hub right here. And then you can even go to 7th chords, you can go to 9th chords, and so on. Then down and below here, we have the modal degrees of C major. So if I click on that, you can hear the C major scale, the D Dorian scale, and so on. So that's all the different modes within C major. But then I also have this little arrow here, so then you can just go to all modes of C. So C Lydian, C Ionian, etc. So it's a really kind of concise way to understand all of your keys, to understand how your chords work together, and be able to have it all in one little thing like this, so that you don't have to go back and forth and look up a chord and go back to the key and so on. From there, we go to the chord library. This is pretty standard. We have guitar, ukulele, piano. Just gives you the different chords for each one. You can type in like the name of them. So if I want to see all of my G chords, you can also then hear it. I can arpeggiate them, or I can make them simultaneous. So then it's one sound like that, or arpeggiated. You can do that for each instrument. Piano. From there, we can go to create progressions. So with this, we're able to select a key, so you can go to any of the 12 keys, and it'll give you your chord scale within that key. You can then hit a chord and then change it if you want, and then add it. So then you'll see them all appear down here. So we'll go E minor, F major, A minor, C major. You can then scroll down. You can change the tempo. So if I want to just play it at a nice, Mandarin 86 there, I can change it from quarter notes to dotted half and quarter notes and do a bunch of variations with that. I can have it be 2 times it'll play it, 4 times, 8 times. So there's a lot of flexibility over what it'll do here. And then after that, after I select the instrument or whatever it is that I want, I can hit play. I'm going to speed it up a little bit though. Let's go to 2 beats per minute too. And then to the C. And right back to E. So it'll just loop this for you. So you can experiment and play along with it. You can change the instrument. You can make it so it's guitar chords, and then you can play those chords along with it. Ukulele chords as well, and it'll change the sound to match. So we'll stop that there. But a nice one for just practicing and even for writing songs. From there, we have a sheet music library, but you do have to have an account to be able to view this. So that's something you have to sign up for to be able to see. You can even actually put in requests as well for this too. So if you have a specific song you want, I can go find that for you and then upload it to the website. And then that way you'll have access to it on here. So that's something I'm still kind of in the process of setting up. But yeah, it's coming along. After that one, we have the sight reading. So for this, I actually really like this myself, and I use this one pretty often. So you can change the instrument. So if I go to like guitar here, I can then do like an easy sight reading for guitar. I can then change the BPM. So if I want it to be a lot faster, I can go up to like 105 or, wherever. We'll go up to there, 165, and then we can loop it or play it just one time. But I'm going to loop it. So we'll... and so on. So it'll just keep on looping that, and then as it's playing, I think I do have to stop it. Yeah, to be able to change the speed. So if I do that, I can then go to the loop And now it's at 80 beats per minute. I can slow it down. I can go even slower than that. So to be able to really learn songs well, you can take your time and go through with this with the sight reading. Play it in real time, play it with the recording. After you have the easy mode, you can go to medium, hard, advanced, and for each of the instruments as well. It's a really good resource for being able to sight read. To be able to use this, you have to turn the metronome on just to be able to get some good timing there for it. But it's programmed to kind of not be quite as loud once you're done recording. So it'll sort of cut itself out a little bit of the track. But yeah, so if we do that and I start this, I can go, oh, here we go, counting. And it'll put it in time like that. You'd have to turn the metronome off. But then you can hear. And it'll loop it right in time. So as long as you have that metronome on, it just went for 4 measures because I have 16 selected. It would go for 8 measures if I have 32. So it keeps you a little bit more in time there as well, as long as you stay with that metronome. But it's a really good way to be able to kind of start recording yourself. And be able to do this. So, yep, that's the loop station, and that'll be the entire toolkit. So if I go back to the home area here, though, you will notice there is one other thing with that, the homework button here. But for that, you will have to be logged in. But yeah, so it's a really good way to build your ear and be able to tell what scale degree something is just in the key of a song. After that, we have the chord quality. So I play a chord. Oh, what is that, a minor 7? Yeah. So you can then play a chord. It'll then play it for you, and then you can guess the quality. But same as the other ones, if you hit this little show button or like the settings bar, sometimes it's different on each one. You can then change them so that it's, just the easier ones, or just shows the triads, for instance. And then I can just do that and hide that. We'll reset, and that'll be a major chord. Oh, we have a diminished chord, minor chord, and so on. So you can make it a little bit easier for yourself with the settings there, and then be able to just have it show the ones that you want. So after that, after the ear training, we have the reading and theory. So for this, it'll give you different intervals for the staff intervals. You can then be able to tell between them, which that one's a super low note. What is that, a D all the way down there up to a D? So that should be an octave. An A to an E flat will be, I guess, a tritone, we'd call that, the flat fifth. But yeah, and so on. So you have that. Note identifier, it'll just ask you a note with a certain clef. I think you can then, select between the clefs. So if I just want to see treble clef, I can do that. You will also, though, have some weird notes there, like a C flat, for instance. Music theory is a little bit different. This one we don't have a leaderboard for, but there's the different levels. So just to be able to test yourself. So here it'll ask you, what does a decrescendo or diminuendo marking tell you to do? And then you can answer these questions. There's 20 questions for each of them. But if I go back to that, to the music theory, you can then change it from absolute beginner, intermediate to advanced. After that, we have the spell chord. So it'll ask you to type in the notes of a chord here. So C augmented, we would go C, E, G sharp, and then boom, submit that. You can also play it too, be able to hear it. You can arpeggiate it. So some people have perfect pitch, might be able to just kind of know those pitches from that. And then name chords. So this one, it'll give you the enharmonics too, but it's basically just going to ask you what these chords are, which I know that one's a G flat major, because G, B, D, G flat, B flat, D flat, all in that order would be my root position. So G flat major, and yeah. So that is everything then for the quizzes. So after the quizzes, we then have the game section. So the most popular game so far, by a long shot too, is Rhythm Hero. Anybody who grew up in the early 2000s would definitely know what this is based off of here. But as you can see, first steps, this is one of the easy ones. It has one channel. I can either tap on the screen here, or I can hit that key. So it works on tablet, smartphone, anything, computer. But it works a lot easier if you have a keyboard. And so on. So that one, once you fail it too, if I miss a certain amount of notes, it'll then fail me. And then you can see the leaderboard. You can then submit your score after you're done the exercise, or after you're done each song, and then be able to place. So let's go back again. Then there's the medium, the hard, and the expert. Each one just adds another channel. So there's only 1 lane for this one, 2 lanes for medium, 3 lanes for hard, and 4 for expert. And of course, they get faster. They get a lot more notes added to them. That's Rhythm Hero, something that most of my students really love playing. And you can use it for any instrument too. It's just a really good rhythm type game. So yeah, try it out. Let me know what you think. From there, we have Melody Memory. So this one, it's a game of add-on or like Simon, I think, as well. So what you can do is you can choose the normal mode with 7 notes or the hard mode with 12 notes. You get a little bit extra points for each one on the 12-note version, the hard mode. But usually I just do the 7-note version with my students. So if I go to here, it's going to play a starting note. It just played E, and then it went E, which I know that'll be a minor third just from my ear training. So I know E, E, G, and each time it'll add more notes. Oh, egg. So after Melody Memory, we have Pitch Match. So this one's just like the memory card game, but it has the pitches and it has the staff on the card. So if I flip over this first one, it's going to play a D sharp and then a D. So I then have to figure out, okay, so that's D sharp, that's a D. Oh, that's a D. So I know those match. F, so D sharp, F. There's my D sharp, so I know D sharp, D sharp. F, F, and then these two must match. So it's just a general memory game, but for pitches and for the staff as well. After that one, we have Music Land. So this one, anybody who's played Candyland should recognize this. You can play solo mode against a bot, where you would add the bots here, or you can play 2-player mode against a friend. Player 2, we'll just leave that as player 2, and we'll just choose an avatar. Add a couple bots. You can even change their names if you want, but I'll just leave them as they are, Forte and Allegro. And then once you start the adventure, you have this board game here. You can then roll the dice, and after that, it'll ask you a question. So what does pizzicato mean? I know it means to pluck the strings. And then after I get it right, I move up that amount of spots. Since I'm playing 2-player mode, it'll then have this pop-up appear, where I can then pass it to the other player or to one of my students, and then they can go and then roll the dice and try to move along the board as well. So after that, we have Jeopardy. To avoid some copyrights. It's musical Jeopardy, of course. But then the difficulty, you can then also select if you want it just to be an easy game, a medium game, or a hard game. So I can then select the difficulty, the bot, and everything, and then start the game there. And it's just standard Jeopardy. It has 2 rounds and a final Jeopardy. So after that, we have Music Quest. This is kind of like a Zelda, Pokemon-ish style RPG game where you can more or less just, go around and try to defeat enemies. You can collect different things in the game. The ultimate goal is music was stolen from the world, from evil aliens or from some creatures from another dimension, and it's up to you to be able to go and to get music back into the world and to, to defeat the enemies and to rescue music. So that one I'll leave as a little mystery there, but you can try that. You can do a new game, load game. You can actually save up to 3 different saves on your game here for it. But yeah, so that'll be Music Quest. So if I go back home here, that's going to be all of my different games, all of my different quizzes, the musician's toolkit, and most of the website. The only thing left we have would be the articles. So over here, there's just different music articles. So up here we have, kind of just the general information, the musician's toolkit. We have the games. So right now there is 6 different games. There's a bunch of different music quizzes. I forget exactly how many I'm up to now. You have then all of these different things here. So virtual lessons, so if anybody wants to take virtual lessons. If you click this link, it'll take you right to the actual website where you can then sign up for weekly lessons. If I go back to here, there's the For Students. So this is where you would create an account. So if I go to there, I can then sign up and make my own account for everything. Next to that, we have the For Teachers. Anybody can sign up for this if you have your own students or your own studio, or you want to just be able to track the metrics of other students. You can then try this free for 1 month, and after that, it'll be $10 per month. But if I do that, it'll then sign you up. You can hit New Teacher, and then sign up as a teacher here. So you can hit the I want to be a teacher, and then sign up. All right, so after the For Teachers, we have down here the Go Ad Free. As I move around the page, there's going to be a bunch of ads that start popping up. Obviously, it's not free to make a music website, so it's something that, I just put in place there to be able to make a little bit of money back, to be able to just make this a better website. After that, we have then down here the Built for Musicians by Musicians and a whole bunch of information. You can contact me right here at this email link here. There's a bunch more resources and some more ads. But down there, there's some questions, frequently asked questions that you can get the answer to. And then all of the other stuff. So that's going to be the main homepage here on dmcmusictools.com. From there, we have, after the toolkit, there is the quizzes. A beginner's guide to drum rudiments, a bunch of different things, how to tune your guitar, etc. And then finally, here's a little about page. So that's my little avatar here, talking about some of the things that I added and why I made the site, a little bit about my background. Down here too, you can also shoot me an email. You can visit my actual website, which we already went to a little bit earlier for a second, just to see the lessons. But this is my actual website here for lessons and instrument repairs. So that's everything. That's going to be the all of the key features to the website for people who are not logged in. But for anybody who does want to make a teacher account or a student account, there is even more. And I'm super excited to be able to provide this for all of you, to be able to code this. And it's just a really fun project that I've really enjoyed working on, actually. So let me know what you guys think. Always send me an email if you have any questions, comments, concerns. You can even call me too. The company number is somewhere probably on here. And as always, keep on rocking.